Hi folks, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Kim and we are going to make an amazing pesto recipe together. I decided to make pesto because I really want to highlight the leafy greens. Leafy greens pack so much nutrition and hardly anyone gets enough into their diet. So any Italian nonas should just block their ears at this point because we know the traditional pesto recipe is with pine nuts and usually basil, right? So today, because we just want to get leafy greens into our diet, I've got a little bit of Swiss chard, I've got some parsley in here, I've got kale, spinach. So, use what's abundant, use what's in your garden. The idea is to just get as many of these leafy greens in as we can. Leafy greens pack a lot of punch. They're superfood in my book. Tons of minerals that our body can absorb. Vitamins, so iron, folic acid, chlorophyll. These are blood fortifying nutrients that we all need. The other thing with the leafy greens is that they're alkalinizing. So what does that mean? Alkaline is the opposite of acid, and we know that degenerative diseases only develop in an acidic body environment. The leafy greens will help balance that acidity and just undo all of the acidifying things that we do on a normal basis. So too much sugar, too much refined food, alcohol, stress is acidifying. All right, so leafy greens, super important. So it's really simple. As you can see, this is a no-cook recipe. So I got the leafy greens, there's about 8 cups here. So a pretty solid 8 cups. And it's just chopped coarsely. I've got some nuts and seeds. So again, pine nuts are super expensive around here. I've got some almonds and sunflower seeds. The nuts and seeds were pre-soaked. So the reason for that is that most nuts and seeds will have enzyme inhibitors. The soaking process will help kind of undo that and just make the nutrients and the protein from the nuts and seeds more available. So I always pre-soak them. I just soak them in water overnight and then drained off the water, and that's that. I've got the juice of 1 lemon. You could also use lemon, lime. So this is 1 lemon. We can use a little bit more. We're going to taste the pesto once we're making it. I've got some Parmesan cheese here because it's delicious. If you're not into cheese, if you don't do that kind of thing, you can definitely substitute with nutritional yeast. So nutritional yeast is these flaky, kind of powdery stuff here. You can get it in most health food stores. Nutritional yeast packs tons of B vitamins, all right? We burn through the B vitamins when we're stressed, so super important. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of both, so I'll probably do half-half. Olive oil. So I want you to choose a great quality olive oil. What does that mean? We're going to look for extra virgin. We're going to look for cold pressed, and preferably in a dark bottle, glass bottle, which is usually a sign that it's a good quality olive oil. We want to stay away from those big jugs, those plastic jugs of vegetable oils that have usually been really processed, really transformed, highly refined, and tend to be inflammatory in the body. And then we've just got a little bit of seasoning. So I've got garlic, I've got 3 cloves here. If you like the garlic, you can put in more. If you don't like it so garlicky, you can put in a little bit less. I have some nice sea salt. Sea salt is going to bring in some minerals as well. And then I just have chili flakes. So this also, you put in as little or as much as you want. It's not necessarily to make the pesto spicy, but the chili flakes will really lift the flavor. So that's it. Now we're going to start making our pesto. I'm going to start with the garlic just because I want to make sure that it actually gets chewed up and ground up. So I'm going to go ahead and use all 3 cloves. Again, you can use as little or as much. So now we're just going to put the leafy greens into the blender, and probably won't be able to fit them all in here, but I'll do a couple of good handfuls. So let's start with this amount. I'm just going to go ahead and put all the nuts in. So this again was about 1 cup, and they kind of swell up a little bit when you soak them. So they're going in there. So again, I used sunflower seeds and almonds for my mix because it's what I had on hand, but you can go ahead, use walnuts. I've done it with pumpkin seeds, whatever's available and whatever's cheap and good. So now I'm just going to I'll add about half of the oil. So we have about 1 cup of olive oil here, and I'm going to add about half of that, and we're going to give it a whirl. So we gave it just a first little blend. Now so you see it really reduces quite a lot. I'm going to add the rest of the greens here. going to go ahead and add the juice of 1 lemon. I'm going to use half of this cheese because I also want to use some of the nutritional yeast. I forgot to mention before that nutritional yeast has a nice cheesy flavor. It's really delicious. So I use this stuff on popcorn, you can use it on salads, you can use it to jazz up sauces. So as I mentioned, if you don't want to use the cheese, go ahead and use the nutritional yeast. So that's probably about a 1/4 cup that I've got in there. So now I'm just going to blend it down. I haven't seasoned it yet. I've got everything in here. You can see that it's still a little bit coarse. If you feel like you've got enough oil in there, a little bit of water will just help make it smooth. So you can leave it as coarse as you like or blend it smoother. So I am going to add a little bit of oil. I'm going to add my seasoning, so a real good pinch of sea salt. There we go. And I'm going to add a good pinch of the chili flakes as well. So there we go. I'm going to give it another little whiz. So now the most important part is to taste, all right? So I'm going to give it a little taste. Of course, it's delicious. So, you know, if it tastes a little bit too bland, go ahead and add more salt. If you feel like it needs a little bit more zing, you can add a little bit more lemon juice. I really want you to taste and make it delicious. The reason for that is because pesto freezes beautifully. So freezing pesto is a great way also to conserve your leafy greens. So when you have an abundance of them in the garden or when the market is full of leafy greens, this is a great way to save them for the long winter, right? So thank you very much, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like a little bit more of this, you can sign up for my newsletter and enjoy your pesto.